So today we're going to be talking about the B word. And no, it's not that word that some of y'all may be thinking. We're going to be talking about boundaries. As someone who is a recovering people pleaser, boundaries was not a word that was in my vocabulary for a very long time. And baby, this year, I'm boundaried up. So boundaries are the limits and rules that you set in your life to respect your time, energy, effort, and your surroundings, right? For a long time, I never understood what it meant to create boundaries because I didn't have boundaries in any area of my life. I didn't have boundaries in my relationship. I didn't have boundaries in my friendships. I didn't have boundaries with my family. I didn't have boundaries anywhere. I didn't have boundaries with my business. Baby, I had no boundaries, period. And anything went because I really didn't know what I needed to feel safe. As I'm growing older, I'm realizing the importance of prioritizing my own needs. In a society that's constantly telling you that focusing on yourself is very arrogant, is very conceited, is very selfish, it is a radical act of self-love to create boundaries and ensure that you are prioritizing yourself. Boundaries is the act of being assertive and allowing no to be a complete sentence. I think sometimes, especially as people pleasers, we always want everyone around us to feel safe or to feel comfortable because we know how it feels to not be in that place or not to have that. And so we try to give that to other people. And it is doing yourself a disservice when you are doing things that you genuinely don't want to do. So understanding how you feel within that moment or overall how you feel and saying no is really you practicing well-being and ensuring that you are safe and that you are good. And trust me, it doesn't matter how much you pour into other people. If you are not okay yourself, it will never be enough because takers recognize givers and they're going to keep taking and taking and taking and taking and taking until you get to the point where you set boundaries and you're like, nope, can't do it. So for a very long time, I was always that friend that everyone else can come to, and I never had anyone that I could go to, right? And so it wasn't that I didn't have anyone I could go to. It was more so like I was so used to being that lock and being that solid person for everyone else that I didn't know how to lay my problems or lay my stuff down to allow people the space to do the same for me. And so it got to a point at one period of time where it was too much for me. I was like going through so much in life. I had school, I had my business, I had this problem, I had this problem. I was going through it. I was going through ups and downs. It was a lot going on. And I was still allowing people to pour their stuff onto me without me having the capacity to take it on. And so something that I learned was telling my friends, hey, I don't currently have the capacity for that right now. Or letting them know that, hey, before you dump on me, can you ask me to see if I'm okay and like I have the space to take it on? Because sometimes I really just don't have it. And they respected that boundary. And so whenever they would want to talk to me about things, they would always ask me, hey, do you have the space for that right now? And I truly appreciated that because for a long time, I was just letting people dump on me. And it was so heavy because I had so much that I was going through personally, but people had no idea. Something that I did that really helped me was recognizing my triggers. Your feelings is your emotional guidance system. When you feel triggered by specific things, that is a moment for you to take a pause and really understand where that feeling is coming from, right? And so whenever I felt triggered, I would pause and I would just write it in my journal. And it helped me understand what I should and shouldn't expect from the closest people around me. Now, if it's somebody that I'm not that cool with, I ain't that close to, I could care less. But if it's somebody that I'm allowing into my space and they are allowing me into their space, it's very important for us to understand each other's boundaries and to respect each other's boundaries. Because that's another thing. I think a lot of times you'll tell people what you desire, and the right people will hear you and they will adjust, and the wrong people will take what you're saying and use it against you and use it to hurt you. And the goal here is to align yourself with people who respect your boundaries and who pour into you in ways that you need to be poured into. So I hope you guys like this video. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you next time.